Hello everyone, Drodge here. Welcome back to a weekly update video of RuneScape. Now this week they released the Deathmatch, which is a PvP minigame. But to show you a little bit about it, I'll read into it and then I have something a little planned for later on today. But to access it, oh, I should mention it is a safe death minigame. So if you do die in it, it's no big deal. You don't lose anything. And it should apply to hardcore players, so it shouldn't actually kill you, just as like Castle Wars won't kill you. Okay, but if you're at the Edgeville, that's where you need to be. If you head a little bit east, if you're familiar with the game, it's where the Crucible is. But before that, if you go into the Edgeville Bank, if you right click on Mandrith and you view shop, this is actually the stuff you can get from Deathmatch. Now, Bounty Hunter wasn't released yet, so don't worry about that, but it is coming. But there is some interesting rewards. There's a Wilderness Slayer XP Enhancer. So if you're in the wilderness and if there's a task out there, you can get 2 times the XP out in the wilderness. And if you're in the Chaos Tunnels, you get 1.2 times XP. So a little bit boost if you're in there. The small rune pouch can actually hold store runes as charges. And you have the ancient teleport tablets. You can unlock the ability to make ancient teleport tablets. Where the ancient teleport really is, I don't know. It could be... Oh, it's probably for multiple teleport zones, actually, now I think about it. You have a Revenant Drop Enhancer. So if you go to the 4 and 3 dungeon, they will drop better stuff. The Ogre Flask can be filled with the pools from Ooglug, which offers some really good boosts, or actually really worth it. You have Preserved Meat. You get a stack of 20. And it says you can't identify what animal this is from. So I have no idea how good that stuff is or not. There is a Deathmatch title. Now, it doesn't say what exactly you get, but there's a title. And then there's a taunt you can also unlock from the Deathmatch. Now, there is some gear. You can get a superior rock shell, spined, and skeletal sets. Now, if you're familiar with the Dagonoth King area, you can get the pieces from the different ones, like the giant rock crabs will give you the rock shell parts. The spined Dagonoth can give you the spined armor set. And Wadowski, or whatever they're called, I forget, they give you pieces for the skeletal armor set. But no, this is supposed to be superior, so I imagine it's going to be stronger than the previous sets. Up next, there is the Supreme Hunter Helm. It is just a cosmetic helm, but it's supposed to look cool and kind of bragging rights. Next, you have different types of gloves that are all not cosmetic, but they're all hybrid gloves. There's a Corrupt, which is level 60, Nasty, which is 65, Malicious, which is 70, Loathsome, 75, and Atrocious, which is level 80, and they're all hybrid. So keep that in mind as you go to do this minigame. Now keep in mind, it is supposed to be a safe death, so hardcore accounts should not be penalized. Now if you keep going east here, to actually find the Crucible, if you're familiar with Edgeville at all, you'll see a PvP hatch. It has the 2 red swords right above it. Just go ahead and enter that. It'll try to connect you to a Deathmatch lobby, which it actually tries to get people within the same level category within a certain extent. It's not going to be putting 130s against, level 10s. That wouldn't really be fair or fun. But once you do get here, yeah, there is some things you can check out. There is the sign-up board. There is a bank chest inside. There's also a prayer altar inside. And there is a bandage thing, much like the Castle Wars one. And that's all there really is to it for this. So that's all for that. Now I'll go into the rest of the news. So also there has been a few other things that have been released today. There is also the Tales of Nomad, the currency pouch, and Fey weapons. So Deathmatch, we already went over that. It is a save death PvP. Deathmatch is a perfect way to learn the ropes of PvP in RuneScape while earning awesome rewards, new and old. Battle opponents, earn points for your kills and assists, and more importantly, have fun. Which is true. This way, it helps a lot of people get to understand how you PvP with EOC. Because a lot of people kind of gave up with it on EOC because they didn't like it, or they just couldn't figure out a good way to do it. There is good ways, it's kind of hard to do compared to the old way. If I'm looking away a lot, I just kind of got something today. So, whatever it was, I caught it. First thing I got with this, now I know this is a RuneScape video, but the first thing I got with this device was a Lickitung. So keep that in mind. I don't know if it's just a weird coincidence or they're like, hey, thank you for buying, here's a reward. But I would say it's definitely worth it. Because it really does actually free up your capability of doing other stuff while you catch. Alright, but the winner of the match is the first person to PK their way to 50 kills, or to the player who has the most kills within the 10-minute limit. So you have 10 minutes to either get 50 kills or have the most kills. In order to be credited with a kill, you must have taken at least 60% of the life points of a player who dies. That's actually more than fair, because if you think about it, you don't want somebody coming up, getting the last hit, and getting the kill for it. That happens in other games, and that is rather irritating. It says if you die, you will respawn in a safe part of the arena. When you re-enter, you will temporarily be immune to damage. So there is no camping. You can't be constantly messing with people. The safe zones have a bank facilities to restock, bandage tables to show yourself together, and an altar, much like the one I just showed you. That's probably actually the main save spot. And it says check around the arena to match up for glowing power-ups and super power-ups. There's a bunch of different types, including powerful temporary armor, cabbage time, the self-explanatory chicken army that'll help you out when battling. Alright, there's also the Supreme Hunter, which is particularly big matches of at least 20 players. The Supreme Hunter mechanic will come into effect, bringing an extra twist to Deathmatch. Look out for the notification that the Essence of Death has spawned in the area. When you enter the proximity of the Essence of Death, a new bar will appear above your head, and that fills up as you remain nearby. The first person to fill the bar will become the Supreme Hunter. As everyone's bar is displayed, you should do your best to prevent the leader from becoming Supreme Hunter. Better still, if you kill someone who is standing near the Essence, you'll get half their bar. So that's going to be kind of interesting. It says utilize a special attack on your Supreme Hunter weapons to fend off opponents. This summons 10 souls to fight for you. For each soul that is alive, you will receive 10% damage reduction. Meaning that the Supreme Hunter has 100% damage reduction while all souls are alive. Wow, okay, that's pretty cool. The reward system, we did see it. It's based on your personal performances in each match. You will earn points that can be spent in the reward shop. It just goes over some of the rewards, but I already showed you those. Up next is the Tales of Nomad. Now this is a find out the story of elusive Nomad and the brand new mini quest. So this is a mini quest. You get to find out more about his past and what he's about. It is a requirement though for the Master Cape and the Trimmed Completionist Cape, and you will get rewarded with 3 XP lamps on completion. But the requirements for it are membership, Nomad's Elegy, and Nomad's Elegy. That's all it is. Now there is a Nomad's Elegy quest boss hard mode plus new reward capes. So there is 6 different colors of the reward cape if you do the hard mode. You go back, and fight it again. I guess you can keep fighting them as many times as you like too. So, if you like fighting Nomad, that's for you. I hated them. But there is 6 different color capes. There is a 20-minute one that gives you a cyan. A 16-minute gives you green, 14 white, 12 purple, 10 black, 8 minutes red. So if you can defeat them within 8 minutes, you get a red, cool looking cape. I've seen it. It has soul, like the skull of souls flowing out the bottom of it. It looks pretty sick. Alright, the currency pouch. Okay, this is a big update to the current currency pouch. The currency pouch will now hold Thaler, Runecrafting Guild tokens, Mobilizing Army investment points, Soul Warriors, Jadinko Favor, Celestialian pieces, Tessie, I don't know what that is, Mobilizing Armies reward points, Slayer points, Tuska event reward points, Tokul, Reaper points, Mage Training Arena telekinetic Pizzazz points, Co-op Slayer points, Viscif Cothex tokens, Pieces of 8, Penguin points, Mage Training Arena Alchemist Pizzazz points, Runespan points, Dungeoneering tokens, Chimes, Barbarian Assault attack points, Mage Training Arena Enchantment Pizzazz points, Warriors Guild Strength, Cabbage Face Punch, Bonanza Renown, Jujitsu, Barbarian Assault Defense points / TD, Mage Training Arena Graveyard Pizzazz points, Warrior Guild Defense points, Heist points, Agility tickets, Barbarian Assault Collector points, Livid points, Warrior Guild attack points, Clan Orts, that is awesome, Castle Wars Gold ticket, Barbarian Assault Healer points, Stealing Creation points, Warriors Guild combat points, Castle Wars silver tickets, Fishing tokens, Vinesweeper points, Warriors Guild balance, Ecto Duncan, Brian points, still not sure what that is, and Void Knight combinations and Hanky points. Now some of these, they're already kept in a way that you don't have to worry about it, like the Clan Orts. As soon as you pick them up, they automatically go into a different area. They don't take up bank space, but this is actually just a way that you can actually, I guess, check into it to see how many you have. That was a lot to read, but that is a lot of things it's actually holding, a lot of cool things too. And a lot of cool things you can actually just check to see how many you have. Okay, for Solomon's store this week, they actually released the fairy-inspired Fey weapons. They are now in general store. As you can see, there's a bow, which blends in quite well. There is what looks to be a halberd, which looks pretty menacing. There looks to be it's either a mace or a wand. And then there is a staff. Now, actually, now to think about it, let me see if I can. I'll try to log back in before I go into the patch notes for this week to show that off. This week's live streams are the Arc Batch 2 Q&A. That is on September 27th, so that'll be on tomorrow at 1600 game time. And then on Friday the September 29th at 20 game time. I don't know how to read military time. It's his update preview with Mod Shawnee. So I'm not sure exactly what they have planned, but I would imagine it's going to be pretty good. Sunday, October 2nd. Yes, it is soon October. At 1900 hours game time, PVM with Mod Lee. And other... What did I log into? Oh, somebody released the Barrel Monkeys. Alrighty. Also, in other news, it is important to keep in mind that the RuneFest highlights are now, I guess, either all or mostly all on YouTube. So if there is something that you missed, or if you didn't, if you wanted a more in-depth analysis from, what I had actually covered on my channel, their videos are now up, so now you can see it word for word, and you get to see all the visual arts that they have that go with it. which some of them are really cool. Alright, now let's see if I can't get the weapons to show up. Okay, let's see here. Ah, yep, here's a fairy dagger. Actually looks kind of neat. The fairy sword. That actually looks kind of sick. Kind of awesome. Ooh, what's a mana course? Eh. My personal thought on one is eh. Fairy mace. See, these look kind of cool. They look more menacing than they do anything else. That's the fairy battle axe. Let's see what else they have. Ooh, fairy 2H sword. That's probably gonna look pretty cool. Yeah, that does look pretty cool. It's kind of like a mixture of a god sword and a regular sword. Alright. Fairy halberd. That's actually probably my favorite out of all of it so far. That and the daggers. That's the fairy maul. They actually released quite a bit with that patch. Hellbear's claws. Huh. That's not part of it. I just thought I wanted to see what it looked like. And that is the fairy fey claws. Those actually look menacing. I mean, these are actually very well done. They're not, you know, corny in any way. The fairy staff. I'm assuming the recolor on it. Where does it recolor at? Oh, that recolor is actually perfect. Okay, there's a fairy wand. So you do keep in mind all these can be recolored in different fashions. Is there? Yep, fairy short bow. Okay, that's the fairy short bow. And then the fairy shield bow. Ah, that's the one we've seen in the picture. And Jackets, if you really could, if you see this video, try to do all of us a favor. Your outfits are awesome. There's no doubt about that. But can we please have it that we can not only change just the primary color, but the secondary color too? Now, if there's a third and fourth and fifth, you know, big deal. But if we can change the primary and the secondary colors, I can guarantee you there would be an increase in sales in Treasure Hunter items. Not Treasure Hunter, but Solomon General Store. I can guarantee it. Alright, the crossbow. It's alright. Kind of reminds me of a different one. The fairy two-handed crossbow. Now that's pretty cool. Ooh, a fairy throwing star. Ah, okay. Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, you know, Jackets, if you do see some of, like, my videos, at least, I can guarantee you it's a shadow glaive dagger. Oh, I didn't know those were cosmetic, too. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people would buy more of this stuff if there was even more customization on it. I mean, I can pretty well guarantee that. I mean, I can't speak for anybody, but I'm 99% sure that there would be an increase of sales if that were the case. Okay, the fairy orb. It's kind of like a flower. Fairy book. That's not bad. There's probably a... Oh, no shield. Okay. Still, that's actually quite a bit of stuff for what it is. Alright, so I hope you guys like the looks of that stuff. But now on to the patch notes for the final stretch. Alright, so for the graphical, there's a low sell offer warning now displays correctly on the Grand Exchange interface. updated background for the Dagannoth King's Beast tab images to match the updated arena. Water Sprout loot beams now correctly expire. Skill, D&D, and mini games. Wave of Inspiration now continue until the correct maximum amount of inspiration has been reached. Prevented curly roots from being incinerated by superheat form without the required fire making level. You think that's actually a pretty big error. Other rocks will now fall from the ceiling if Telos is unable to attack. Vindicta and Gorvik will now breathe fire if unable to attack. Hellweir will now perform special attacks if unable to attack. Player with the 15-year anniversary emote unlocked can now perform the 2012 variant. Free players can once again access the King Black Dragon's lair. Didn't know they couldn't. The entrances of the 4-3 dungeon are once again single combat areas. Players can no longer cast Intercept while under the effects of Intercept. Both augmented and normal variants of the high armor of Hanto can now be saved and protected on death. A Beast of Burden can no longer hold items worth more than 5 mil per slot. Uncharged augmented items will now correctly protect on death in PvP situations. Fixed an issue where additional action bars that had been enabled were not being restored correctly if changing from Legacy interface mode to non-Legacy. It is once again possible to reset a boss kill timer via the hourglass icon on the interface. The interact option for the summoning icon on the main action bar now works for the RuneFest Honorable Fu Lion, which looks cool but looks weird. NXT fixed the crash that was occurring during the Telos boss fight. Fixed the crash with the JS5 resource provider. And last week's hotfixes were the Gothexian catches will now correctly award the post-completion buff every 3 hours. So that's it for the patch notes. There's actually no ninja, which is actually very shocking. That's it for the patch notes. That's it for today's updates. So thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, later guys.